Good morning. Pursuant to my powers as chair, I intend to use the gavel. I would like to call this meeting of Audit, Finance and Administration Committee of Hamilton City Council to order. Members of the public are advised that our meetings are webcast live by the City of Hamilton and temporarily archived on the city website. Other individuals and the media may also be audibly and/or visually recording this meeting. As well, a reminder that all the electronic devices are to be switched to a non-audible function during committee meetings. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, yes, there are. Added as item 4.1, a delegation request from John Galoni respecting item 12.1, the commercial relationship between the City of Hamilton and Mary Claire Brennan Galoni and John Gaspari Galoni, operating as Ontario Dental Works.
May I please have a motion to approve the agenda as amended? Councillor Pearson and Councillor Ferguson. Thank you very much. All in favor? Wonderful. May I please have a motion to approve the May 19th, 2016 meeting minutes as presented? Councillor Ferguson and Councillor Johnson, all in favor? Thank you. With respect to item 4.1. Oh yes, Madam Clerk, please.
Declarations of interest, please.
Oh, forgive me. Declarations of interest, are there any? Seeing none? 4.1, what is the committee's wish with respect to this item? Thank you. Motion for receipt from Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Collins. All in favor? Wonderful. Members of committee, you have before you consent items 5.1 to 5.6. May I please have a mover and a seconder for items 5.1 through 5.5? Councillor Pearson, Councillor Skelly. All in favor? May I please have a motion to receive items 5.2 to 5.4 and 5.6? Councillor Ferguson, please. Floor is yours.
Yeah, we did the consent items all in one big crack there, and
you know what? I misspoke. I was meant to have a motion for items 5.1 and 5.5. I said 5.1 through 5.5. So, Madam Clerk, should we do a revote? Is that the appropriate thing? Do my slip?
No, through you, I was going to call you Deputy Mayor. Through you, Mr. Chair, 5.1 and 5.5 need a mover and seconder as they need to be approved, and 5.2 to 5.4 and 5.6 need a mover and seconder as they are motion to receive. You do not need to redo the first one.
All right, so we've done 5.1 and 5.5. Councillor Ferguson, do you wish to speak to items 5.2, 5.3, or 5.4, or 5.6?
I want to speak to 5.5. I just heard the clerk say we actually have to have a motion to approve 5.5 and 5.1. The others can be simply received. So when the time is right, could I speak to item 5.5, the audit financial statements?
I believe it's appropriate for that moment to be now. Please go ahead, Councillor Ferguson, on City of Hamilton financial report and audited financial statements.
Thank you. And I'm trying to see if the KPMG auditor is here. Lois. Hi. First of all, I just want to speak to Appendix B, page 15 of 66, showing that total revenue last year was $1.7 billion, and we actually had a small surplus of $5 million, and that's I'm sorry, total revenue was one. I got them zeros right there, Mike. The zeros are awful big when you get into the billions.
So through the chair, they are in thousands of dollars. So you need to add 3 zeros to the end of each of those figures.
So $1,706,000 was the revenue, and the total year-end surplus then was $5,215,000. Am I reading that correctly? Or do I have to put 3 zeros after that too?
Through the chair, 3 zeros at the end.
Okay. I just want to compliment staff in this one, because to spend $1.7 billion and come in almost on budget with a small surplus is quite an accomplishment.
Indeed.
I have trouble balancing my checkbook. Imagine doing $1.7 billion and balancing that checkbook. So just congratulations to staff on that.
Well done.
I want to go next to page 26 if I can. And it says that the dividend revenue was $9.6 million, which is down $1.7 million from last year. Is that because of we've lost the revenue from fiber wire? Through you, if I can, to Mike.
Mike?
Through the chair, no, it's not related to fiber wire. The dividends from Hamilton Utilities and Horizon vary from year to year. So again, as relates to 2015, we could get some detail from Horizon as to why the decrease, but it has ranged in that $9 to $11 million range, and for purposes of budget for 2016, we've assumed $8.3 million as our dividend from Horizon and Hamilton Utilities Corporation for 2016. So it does vary from year to year.
So you have no feel for why it's down almost $2 million in year over year? Because they're pretty steady over there at Huck, and, you know.
Through the chair, one of the main factors to changes in the dividend is rebasing years. So every 5 years, Horizon has to go in front of the Ontario Energy Board and have their rates rebased. In the early stages of that 5-year period, the dividends tend to be higher because of the time required to ramp up their spending, their capital programs during the 5-year period. But as it relates to 2015, we'll get some additional information as to why the change in the...
Maybe just a short information report on why you're down to almost $2 million in revenue. It was interesting to note that our hydro purchases, however, are up 15% from 29 to 33 million. And I'm going to bring this up later, Mr. Chairman, when we talk about the energy area, because there's different numbers. They don't connect between what's reported in the energy report under the discussion items and what's reported here. And, you know, to see a 15% increase year over year in hydro consumption, I think is concerning. We have a large energy department which is working hard, and you're going to see later on in the report, and I'll talk about it then, you know, trying to save energy, particularly hydro, and you'll see a big number on savings in hydro. But this shows an actual 15% increase. So in the interest of time, I just want to point this out while we're on this item, and then I'll raise it again under the energy report.
Very good.
I'm not done. I'm getting there.
Take your time.
Members of committee and council, I'm going to move to the police one now, and this is where I may need Lois. I just want to bring to the attention, this is under page 4 of Appendix E, and there was a concerned private citizen that came to the budget presentations and also wrote a lot of correspondence to us and, of course, to the police board, alleging that there's inappropriate accounting methods being used at the Hamilton Police Services, to the point where he convinced council to spend $10,000 and have an enhanced operational audit. I don't know if most of you remember that, but it was a debate here at this committee because it was City of Hamilton actually paid the extra $10,000. And Lois did do a full presentation of the Hamilton Police Services Board, and Lois is the lead auditor for KPMG, who oversees all the City of Hamilton audits. But on page 5, I just want to bring one line to your attention. It says, no misstatements related to operating expenses were identified during our testing. So these allegations made by this private citizens are not correct. There was no factual basis to them. On page 6 of 8, under Appendix E, the auditors go into a number of them, and on every one of the allegations made by this concerned private citizen, it says no audit misstatements were identified, and actually explains each one of them if you want to look at it. I don't want to waste a lot of time right now going through them, because at the end of the day, you know, I asked Lois the same question of the police board that I asked Leanne, our internal auditor, when he made 11 allegations against the police budgeting process and the police accounting methods of I'm trying to find the right word to describe this, but he alleged that there was improper accounting going on at the police, and on those 11 allegations, our internal auditor, under the direction of this committee, said that there was no errors in the police budgeting process or in the accounting methods, and refuted all the allegations made by this person. And there's also an interesting statement in these financial statements that the auditor did. You recall that there was an ask for enhanced audit by this individual, and they got a quote of about $200,000 to do the enhanced audit. He came in and challenged that. And at the end of the day, under Mike Zagarik's recommendations, and please both of you, Lois and Mike, if I'm saying anything that's not factual, stop me. But under Mike's recommendations said we should only do an enhanced operational audit, which was quoted by KPMG at $10,000. It says in these statements that if they were to do a full audit, the cost would be in the 6 digits. And so I want to assure members of the committee and the public, first of all, there is absolutely nothing wrong with the statements and the financial accounting methods that were completed by Hamilton Police Services. And secondly, they were both right. You know, using Mike's recommendation just to go into an operational, which is a review of the income statements for the 2015 was $10,000, but to do a full audit would be in the 6 digits. And so when I asked at the Police Services Board, being the same question I asked our internal auditors when these allegations were made, as chairman of the Police Services Board, is there anything you found during your audit that should keep me awake at night? The answer was a very clear no. And so, members of the committee, I think you can feel very comfortable that the financial statements that are produced by Hamilton Police Services are factual, are accurate, and has been confirmed by our external auditors, KPMG. And if you have any questions of Lois, she's sitting at the front row. She can feel free to answer. But through you too, Lois, have I said anything that's not factually correct today?
Lois.
No, you haven't said anything that's not factually correct. What we performed was a financial statement audit of the Police Services Board. And the quote that would be in the 6 digits would be more of an operational audit or a full cost, a value for money audit. And those are very extensive and very expensive.
Okay, and I'll just read that part out for the members of the committee then. This is on page 6 of 8. It says, audit fees for this audit are $10,000 and are considered to be a financial statement audit. A value for money audit would be an expensive engagement, result in a fee in the 6-digit range. A value for money audit would be more extensive than a financial statement audit. And so just for clarity on that, I read your exact words, Lois, out of your statement. I just want to repeat that all these allegations made against Hamilton Police Services and their financial records were proven to be incorrect and externally audited. Now, KPMG doesn't audit the police anyway because they're part of the City of Hamilton, but even with this enhanced audit, found no areas of concern that we should be drilling down on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ferguson. Councillor Pearson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank Councillor Ferguson for pointing this out as far as the police services audit. And I'm just going to ask through you to Mr. Zagarek, out of the interest of the citizen who has come forward before us several times, and I'm sure he'll find this, but would we be sending him a copy of this report?
Mike?
Through the chair, it's my understanding that the citizen was at the Hamilton Police Services Board meeting when Lois Ouellette, and let me just introduce Lois properly, Lois Ouellette from KPMG presented their statements. And so, again, we can provide an electronic copy, but it's my understanding that the citizen was at the board meeting.
I think that it would be good just to give it to him so he has it in hard copy. I mean, he has come here, he's been passionate about concerns, and I agree with Councillor Ferguson, there's been no issues. Everything is correct, and that he just have that in his possession as well. So if I need to move that, I'll move it.
So I believe it can be a direction.
Okay, or just direction. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Councillor Pearson and Mr. Zagarek. I have no further indications. So, may I please have a motion to receive items 5.2 to 5.4 and item 5.6. Councillor Vanderbeek and Councillor Pearson, all in favor.
You need a motion, Mr. Chairman, to approve 5.5, or we already got that?
Madam Clerk?
No, it was actually taken care of at the beginning.
Thank you. So we are on item 6.1, if I'm not mistaken. I would like to call John Galoni to the podium, please.
Speak directly. You can move it up and down. You can move it up and down.
Oh, okay.
Try to speak close to it.
I'm okay. Can you hear me? Thank you.
Please begin when you're ready.
My name is John Galoni. I request this before you to prohibit myself and my company from bidding or entering into a contract with the City of Hamilton for a 10-year period. I'm asking that you consider the following facts and reject this request. Born and raised in Hamilton, I'm an outstanding citizen and entrepreneur who has contributed to the community in many ways, including creating well-paying jobs and fundraising. I was the co-founder with my brother Lawrence Galoni of the Radical Ride, raising over $500,000 for breast support services. I'm a proud father of 2 successful offsprings. My daughter Chelsea is a second-year PhD student at the prestigious Northwestern College School of Management, and my son Tyson just wrote his chartered financial exam, otherwise known as the CFA exam. My son will be working on his master's at McMaster University. I just share this with you to give you a background of who I am. I have high morals, high standards. I like to think I inspire the people around me. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. I'm not good at public speaking. But now why I'm here. I was an employee of a company that was wrongfully halted from doing business with the City of Hamilton. I was in charge of the business development. The owner of the company, or the owner of the accused business, Mary Claire Brendan Galoni, my wife, is a registered restorative dental hygienist that had an impeccable record of 23 years of professional practice prior to opening her business. When my wife opened her own business in 2010, Ontario Dental Works, she began billing the city for dental hygiene services with social service clients. The mandate was new at the time and set by the McGuinty government, allowing for dental hygienists to self-initiate and care for the overwhelming and underserved population of social service candidates, the underprivileged. In 2 separate private meetings, one with Dr. Peter Weave of Public Health Dental to introduce Ontario Dental Works, and a second with Erica Brimley of Social Service regarding not being paid for services rendered, we were explicitly told to treat social service not to treat social service candidates, that there was no available funding for us. Ms. Brimley's advice that we should think of social services as a small insurance company with very little funds, and that we should target private pay clients instead. It was after these meetings that the unfounded and unwarranted accusations arose from the City of Hamilton, prompting the illegal action that would ultimately close my wife's business. These accusations were devastating. The financial ruins and grievous impact on her professional reputation led my wife to suffer a severe mental breakdown requiring hospitalization. Incapable of defending herself and without the means to hire a lawyer, she accepted a plea bargain. Although only an employee of the company, I supported her through this ordeal. Now learned that as a result of these actions against my wife's company, Ontario Dental Works, my personal commercial relationship with the city is considered impaired. It's both perplexing and unwarranted. I'd urge you to reject this prohibition and allow me to pursue viable employment or opportunity equal to everybody else in my hometown, the City of Hamilton.
Thank you very much, sir. I saw an indication from Councillor Johnson.
Thank you for coming in this morning. You said that you had other commercial interests. What are they?
I have a health bus program that brings health awareness, health screening, and practitioner on-site programs into communities. So we work with a number of reputable clinics in the community, and we make access to care.
So you work with other clinics, other health professionals to do what again? Sorry?
We bring healthcare professionals, associate healthcare professionals in the community to do health awareness programs, health assessments, and to care for the community members.
Thank you. Is this a mobile
Yes.
business? So you've got a big
Yes.
van or?
Yeah, so we have a health bus that is a mobile clinic, set up as a mobile clinic. We go out and we do health awareness, health screening programs in the community. And then we work with a number of associate clinics. Not just one clinic, but multiple.
How is that portion of your business funded?
It's a fee for service. We get a fee for services for bringing people out into the community, and we get sponsorship dollars by large manufacturing companies of assisted devices and stuff like that.
Okay, so people come to your van and they pay for that service?
No, we have a free community service. The screenings, the awareness programs, the screenings, the assessments, it's a free charge. If they need help, we will, if they need help, the proper procedures and all that are done through the clinics.
Okay, I'm trying to follow the bouncing ball. So you come into a community with your van, people come in, they get free screening, and they've been advised now they need to go to a professional? Is that how
No,
this
there
works?
is a professional on the health bus, yes.
Okay, so where's the fee for service then?
We get a fee for service from the community clinics,
Oh, the clinics pay you for being there?
yes.
Okay.
For allowing this service.
And it's just in Hamilton?
We're in a few jurisdictions, or a few regions.
A few regions. And you have one van? You have many vans?
I have one van right now, but I was purchasing, what I don't understand is I was purchasing multiple vans. The Darts bus is out for auction, and I was a winning bid on an auction. And and this is what prompted this. They're stopping me from bidding on auctions.
Okay, so these clinics, they ask you to come, or you?
I have a healthcare program. Well, I may introduce, it's a variety of ways. I may introduce our company to the clinics, and we do giving our services. We go out and we do screening, health awareness programs, and we put practitioners on the bus. The bus is set up as a clinic, and we're able to do screenings and assessments on the bus.
So you have qualified professionals, so qualified doctors, qualified nurses, qualified radiologists, whatever it is you need.
100%.
Okay, so you said that you're buying more vans, which tells me that your business is growing.
We're starting to grow, yes.
What clinics would be asking you to come in?
I'm not going to share that information.
Oh.
I don't think I need to share that information with clinics.
Okay, so...
I have a confidentiality clause with the clinics.
No, I totally get that. But if your van's coming to that clinic and you want to get the word out to the community, do you not have a schedule on a website to say we're coming at this date,
We
this
treat
date?
people at random. 6 out of 7 people don't take the first step to getting help. By our community health bus being in the community doing screenings, a lot of people are curious. They don't know. We've approached people like mental health issues doing for screenings. It's just Hamilton is bottlenecked with people with developmental issues, and so it was suggested that it's a great idea. But
Okay, and so these clinics that ask you to come in, they have their own health professionals, and they're asking you to come in to...
So we take them out into the community, we do awareness programs. Just no different than the public health bus, no different than
Do you have a website?
Noble Health Works.
Okay,
.ca.
and on that website, is there a schedule as to where you will be in those communities so that the community is aware?
We have schedules with associates that allow us on premise to treat their members or clientele.
Okay, those are my questions, thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Skelly.
Thank you. Through the chair, you said you're doing screenings. Screenings for what?
We presently screen for hearing. We're getting into COPD.
Sorry, what was your first?
For hearing.
Hearing?
Yeah, we do health programs for hearing. We're getting into COPD. We did a little bit of mobility. We're exploring right now. We're a young company and we're growing, and we're exploring the opportunities.
Through the chair, when you are doing, you said you engage or you attempt to reach out to people in the community who I assume you said would be hesitant perhaps or unaware of where to seek help. How do you engage with these people?
We just pull up to a community. We work with a number of social workers. We work with a number of support workers that allow us, and they say, we're here. They tell their members to have your, for the hearing, The health bus is here for hearing. Go check your hearing.
So who, through the chair, is paying your staff? Where is the source?
The staff is paid by our associate clinics. So it's just me right now, all right, and the staff is paid, it's their own clinics. So we represent clinics in the community. We bring clinics out into the community. We're a multi-practitioner clinic. So the idea is to go out into the community, do a number of screenings. There's a number of people that, like COPD, 50% of people with COPD in Canada don't know they have it. And that's the third leading cause of death. So our goal is to screen, identify those people and get them help.
And through the chair, how do you screen for them on your van?
Well, COPD, there's a peak flow meter, so we just do the screenings and then we send them, we give them a copy of the report, we send it to their family doctors for the hearing test. We have a handheld screener that will quickly and accurately say if there's a concern with the hearing. If there is a concern, we put them on our health bus. The health bus is set up as a clinic. We're able to do a full health assessment. All the equipment on the bus is calibrated and
through the chair, then, if they discover that they have a hearing loss, what do you do? Do you recommend that they purchase a hearing aid, or how does it work from
yeah,
there?
everything goes through the clinic. It's just like if you were to go into a clinic. The only thing is we're mobile. We're able to go into people's homes. We work with a number of organizations that recommend our services, so we're able to treat people in their private homes, in their beds that can't get out of beds. We have access to, or we have the ability to care for people, especially for the ones that can't get out and who don't have easy access to care.
Through the chair, how do we then, or you, ensure that people who are, if they're unable to go to a clinic on their own, don't feel intimidated and perhaps purchase a hearing aid without having...
We're in the community to help people with their health. We're not there to hurt them. We're there to help them. The people that they're seeing are the same people that are in clinics that you would go to. If you would go to a private clinic, or if you were to go to not just a private clinic, but a number of clinics that we work with. If you were to go to one of those clinics in there, it's no different.
So, sorry, Councillor Skelly. I just want to make sure that we're staying focused on the contents of the delegation.
Yes, this is about my company. This has nothing to do with why I can't bid.
Sure.
Well, if, through the chair, perhaps we could just get clarification on this. If you're operating a company, I think that we should know what we're operating. I'm not sure if
You're accusing me of wrongful business, and that's why you're stopping me. You're hindering my opportunity to do business. I don't deserve that. I've done everything correctly, and I've been a good citizen, and I've done good work in the community. All right. My business, what I'm doing now, should have no impact on this decision, and what I'm doing now is very good.
With great respect, Councillor Skelly, and forgive me for interrupting, I wonder, and I'm open to feedback from staff or colleagues on committee, I wonder if the right thing isn't to have staff ask many complex questions that need to be asked in order to get all the relevant information so that we can then apply the rules appropriately and hear back another time. I'm seeing Councillor Johnson disagree with my idea. Pardon me. Councillor Skelly, I apologize. I suspect we're going back to you soon, but we'll hear from Councillor Johnson just quickly.
The reason that I brought this up was that the delegate mentioned that this affects his business and that it is to stop him from doing any business. So I wanted to get a better idea, because if the decision is to stop both businesses, I want a clear idea of what this gentleman's business is in order to make that decision. So that's why I was going down that road, and I believe Councillor Skelly was where I left off.
Understood. And again, on this procedural point, before we go back to Councillor Skelly, Councillor Pearson?
Mr. Chairman, yes, thank you, and I appreciate the questions, but I am concerned because we are getting offline of this particular business with the City of Hamilton. I think that's all this report is to deal with. It has nothing to do with any of his businesses outside of his dealings with the City of Hamilton. If you want to ask staff for clarification, that's what I think is all we really should be questioning. I don't need to know his personal business, and I can understand his other business that he does not involve the city in any payment. staff, they can just clarify. This is the only one before us.
And Councillor Pearson, is there a particular staff member to whom you want to direct this?
Well, I'm not
this
sure who's here that could assist from either the department, legal, or finance.
I'm actually tempted to ask the clerk, but I wonder if I may I was going to propose our city solicitor, Janice, if you wouldn't mind giving a view on the right procedural point at this moment.
So Ron Sabot has been working on this matter and is going to respond.
Thank you very much, Janice. Ron?
Through the chair, the proposed ban that Mr. Galoni is speaking to is just a vendor ban, any dealings or contractual relationships with the city. There is always some chance that the scope of Ontario Works programs or ODSP that the city manages may capture some of the businesses, health-related businesses that Mr. Galoni is talking about. So there could potentially be overlap. It would depend upon the clients themselves, whether they're eligible for that.
Okay, so that's, I would say, somewhat clarifying and helpful, therefore. I'll turn the floor back to Councillor Skelly for actually, sorry, I see Councillor Pearson indicating, I'm sure, on this procedural question.
On the procedural question, I appreciate that, and maybe then, Mr. Chairman, if I could ask Mr. Galoni, in your other businesses, do you have any dealings or payments?
Zero. Nothing. Nada.
Councillor Pearson, further questions? All right then.
But
So-
I should have the right to, I don't deserve not to have the right. All right?
Okay, so we've received some helpful information about the scope of our inquiry. Councillor Skelly, the floor is still yours. Please resume, and I'm sorry again.
Thank you. Through the chair, and just clarification then, none of the patients or people, clients that use your service in the van would submit a claim through Ontario Works.
I'm sorry?
Through the chair, in your secondary business where you work in the community, none of your clients then would bill for the service through Ontario Works?
I don't have any clients. I provide a service to my associates, and they have their own practices. So the people we help in the community, it's whatever they're entitled to or what they have. And that's done with the clinics.
Through the chair, you're licensed through the City of Hamilton?
I am a business owner, yes. I'm an incorporation, yes.
And through the chair, do you deal at all with public health with the van?
Do I deal with public health? No.
You don't work hand in hand with public health at all in any of the outreach?
No.
Okay, thank you. Those are my questions.
Oh, thank you, Councillor Skelly. Councillor Ferguson is on my list. Please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. John, welcome. Just most medical professionals are self-governed and self-disciplined. Have you ever had a complaint about one of your operations, particularly the hygienist, with the Ontario Hygienist Association?
Well, that's what this whole ordeal is about. We were falsely accused for a number of things. And if you were to use common sense and take a look at my wife's impeccable 23 years prior to starting a business, after she started a business, you would think she was incompetent. You know, she had no clue of anything. However, she is a highly regarded and a phenomenal dental restorative hygienist with everything. The only reason why we were stopped is simply because the city did not want to help social service candidates. All right, they didn't want to provide our services to social service candidates.
But the College of Ontario Hygienists of Ontario would have a hearing, I would suspect, similar what to do with other professionals.
My wife had a nervous breakdown, severe, and I care about my wife more than anything.
Of course.
And we just decided, you know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth your health. It's not worth anything like that. She couldn't cope. She couldn't handle it. She had a breakdown. We lost everything. We lost all, you know, we were stuck with nothing with this business, you know, and we did nothing wrong.
Okay, I take from that the association's decision was not favorable.
We took a plea bargain. Because of the plea bargain, everything was just as it was.
Okay, thank you.
But I was an employee of the company. I didn't own the company. I had 0 ownerships and I had 0 shares.
Thank you. Councillor Pearson.
Mr. Chairman, yes, thank you. And I just want to clarify, and I know the report's before us, so through you to Mr. Galoni, then, you say that it was a plea bargain with the CDHO, and I just want to confirm, though, that there was a hearing in April 2012 where there was misconduct found. I just want that for the record. I'm sorry, that's all I'm asking.
For the record, that is correct. My wife wasn't able to cope, and it didn't matter what it was. You could have said anything.
But she was found to be engaged in professional misconduct, providing unnecessary treatment, falsifying records, signing and issuing a document containing false or misleading statements, correct?
That is correct. That was in the thing, but it's not, that was in the report, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pearson. And just a reminder, we will continue this discussion in camera pursuant to item 12.1. So may I please have a motion to receive the delegation, the presentation rather. Councillor Pearson, Councillor Collins, all in favor? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
John, we appreciate your intervention. Thank you so much. So we are now on item 8.1. Is there any discussion with respect to item 8.1? I don't see any. Councillor Skelly and Councillor Johnson, all in favor? That is carried. Are there any notices of motion? I see none. Are there any items of general information or other business? I see none. May I please have a motion to move into closed session respecting item 12.1?
Excuse me, Councillor Johnson.
Pardon me, Madam
Sorry, and the new business, actually, I just wanted to take a moment to introduce Judy Shepherd.
Yes.
Whose first day is today, and she will be the new legislative coordinator for the AFA.
Judy, welcome.
SMTB.
Sorry, AFA, and
She'll have a variety of subcommittees as well.
we'll look forward to seeing you around. Thank you for coming to Hamilton. Great to have you. So, may I please have a motion to move into closed session respecting item 12.1, report LS 16007, FCS 16057, commercial relationship between City of Hamilton and Mary Claire Brennan Galoni and John Gaspari Galoni operating as Ontario Dental Works pursuant to section 8.1. I'll interrupt my flow for Councillor Collins' intervention. Is it a timely matter, or should I wait to the end of the legalism? Okay. You know what? I understand that motion given the fulsome conversation we just had in open session. And frankly, I'm glad that we had a good conversation in open session. So I don't see any, colleagues, are there any who wish to go into closed session? All right, that does save us some bother. Okay. In that case, Madam Clerk, instead of moving in camera, stop me if I'm doing anything wrong, I will propose the motion
A mover and a seconder on the report.
to receive the report.
No, a mover and a seconder on the report, please.
And are we receiving the report, Madam Clerk?
No,
We are endorsing the recommendation.
You're actually going to approve it, so you need a mover and a
To approve
seconder
the report
on
is the correct language.
Yes.
Fine. Councillor Pearson is moving a motion for approval of the staff report. This is seconded by Councillor Johnson. All in favor? Thank you. Skipping. I believe we're on adjournment, if I'm not mistaken. 8.1 and 7.1. This is what happens when I start flipping in my script. Colleagues, I do apologize. We did 8.1. Yeah, we did. There was a mover and a seconder.
Through you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, yes, you did. It was moved by Councillor Skelly and seconded by Councillor Johnson.
Did I fly
and it was
too quickly?
Before. Yes, thank you.
Colleagues, I flew. Sometimes learning from the best is not good after all. So I apologize. Let us backtrack to 8.1. All right. Zen focus. 8.1. Discussion with respect to item 8.1, which is our 2015 annual energy report on commodity price hedging. Councillor Ferguson has a comment.
Yeah, it just, I've always had questions in my mind about particularly the savings and avoided costs and a definition of that. And it struck me during the presentation of the audited statements when we actually had an increase of 15% in electricity costs, but according to this report on page 3, we had savings and avoided costs in 2015 of $3.91 million, when our actual cost went up by some $4 million. So I'm puzzled by that. How do you have savings of 3.5 when our actual cost went up by 15%? Can somebody explain that to me?
A fine question. I'm tempted to say Mr. Garrick.
Yeah. So through the chair, I believe Tom Chessman is making his way down.
Thank you.
And Tom can take committee through the 2015 performance as it relates to energy and fuel. But I will point committee, while Tom's making his way down, I will point committee to pages 3 and 4 of the report. It does speak to the changes in rates. In the case of hydro rates went up from 11.4 cents per kilowatt hour in 2014 to 12.6 cents in 2015. And so that would reflect about a 10% increase just in the unit price
Just on that?
for hydro.
Councillor Ferguson.
Just on that, Mike, it looks like on page 4 of the report, it went up from 11.4 cents to 12.6 cents, which is an 11% increase. According to the audited statements, what we actually paid was a 15% increase to Horizon for electricity. So it's 4% disconnect, and yet we're investing so heavily in energy savings, it's actually gone the other way. We're actually paying more. And yet this report says we saved $3.91 million. So it must be new math. I don't get it. And I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
So
Not at all. No.
So through the chair, I'm going to ask that Tom take committee through it, because what I focused on was just the unit price.
Right.
There's a number of
Per
factors that
kilowatt hour.
affect.
You, Mr. Chair, thank you, Mike, and thank you, Councillor, for the question. So in terms of the 3.9 million listed on page 3 of the report, that is listed as savings and avoided costs. So the principle of avoided costs, of course, is had you done nothing, your costs would be A, and had you done something, your costs would be B. Okay, so because of the special rate that the city is on, most of that savings is a result of this Class A rate that we have for a number of the city's sites. So if that rate was to be the normal rate, electricity rate, the city would have incurred an additional $3.9 million in costs. So that's tracking the avoided costs, and that's really the principle of avoided costs that's being listed there. And as Mike had alluded to as well, the percentage differences that you're referring to, what's listed in the report is the commodity cost. And I believe, I'm not exactly sure the 14% you refer to, but I'm assuming that might be a dollar reference as opposed to a unit cost reference. But that's listed here in the report where we're speaking to unit cost increase from 11 to 12 cents.
I was actually talking about both. And according to the Horizon invoices, we went up 15%. And according to your report, we're actually paying 11% more on a unit cost basis, which means there's a disconnect of 4%. So we're obviously using a lot more electricity. And so are you telling us then that if we hadn't had the avoided cost, instead of spending $33,546,000, $33,546, we actually would have spent 37.5, which is about a 25% increase year over year. Is that what the message is?
Through you, Mr. Chair, yeah, essentially that's what the avoided cost message is, that you would be paying that much more. On graph 1 of page 3 of the report, we speak to electricity costs of $28 million. Right, that's the electricity costs.
Where do you see the 28 million, man? Oh, got it, okay.
Right, on the graph, yeah.
But in the and you may not have a copy of those in front of you. They were in the consent item on the audited statements. You say we spent $28 million. This says you spent $33 million.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I can get back to you on that and identify the difference. That might be some expenditures may or may not be listed in terms of corporate assets versus what we're spending.
Mike, can you help me on that? On page 3 of the current energy report shows we spent $28 million in electricity. On page 26 of 66, it shows that we spent $33 million. $5 million difference. 15%.
Through the chair, we'll have to look at the notes in the financial statements as to how we arrived at. I'm not questioning the number. I just want to make sure that we are including the same facilities and the same services in both the financial statements and this report as well. I'm assuming we are. It could be in part the accounting approach. It could be, we could be accruing for some services in terms of this report. Again, I would have to go back and compare both reports.
Because it worries me that we're relying on this information to keep an energy office going, and it says we saved $3.9 million, and yet we even have a disconnect, because the actual title on page 26 of Appendix B is Hydro purchased by the City of Hamilton from HUC, $33,546,000. To that, we've got to add the $3.91 million, which is the amount that they said they saved, which takes us then up to $37.5 million, which would be a 25% increase. I just have trouble with that. And
so through the chair, we will share with the Energy Office all of the reporting that makes up the figure in the financial statements, and we'll do a reconciliation between what is in the financial statements and what the Energy Office is reporting.
Can you bring that back as a consent item at the next meeting rather than an information memo?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I believe it suffices to frame that as a direction. In other words, we don't need a motion. So, thank you.
So through the chair, we can come back with a report to council identifying the difference between the two figures.
Thank you. Councillor Ferguson? Sorry, Councillor Pearson, were you indicating? Okay. Councillor Scally, please.
Thank you. Through the chair, Mike, did you say that we have used 25% more energy last year? It was an increase of 25%?
Through the chair, in the report, we speak to the unit costs going from 11.4 cents to 12.6 cents per kilowatt hour.
Right.
The 24% is in the other report that I don't have in front of me right now, and that's...
But was that
I can't speak to
consumption,
that.
or was that... related?
That would be total dollars.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you referenced the avoided costs through a preferred rate, and how does the city become eligible for that preferred rate? How did we end up getting that rate?
Thank you. Through the chair, we were able to take advantage of a window of opportunity that was presented for sites that meet specific criteria in terms of over a certain electrical size. So initially it was 5,000 kilowatts. Subsequently, it's been reduced a little bit, and we've looked at the sites that were best and most appropriate for this rate, and made sure and continue to make sure those sites stay on that rate. That's a preferred rate.
Questions?
Thank you. I have no further speakers on item... Excuse me. Oh, pardon me, Mike. I do have a further speaker. Thank you very much. Mr. Zagarek, please.
So through the chair, I just want to point committee's attention to the first paragraph, last sentence, I believe on page 4 of 18. It does identify that electricity consumption actually decreased by 3% in 2015 versus 2014.
Thank you.
Okay, and my only response to that is show me, because I always like to compare the different reporting, one being the audit statements, one being this report, and you know, it's always said if you ask two different people the exact same question, and if you get the exact same answer from both, you're okay. And that isn't happening in my view in this case, but maybe I'm missing something.
So we'll look forward to that report. That is great. Given what has just transpired, I feel it is completely appropriate to move truly and definitively for 8.1. So who would like to move? Very good. The two, pardon me, Councillor, it's all good.
It's all good, yes,
very
thank
good.
you.
All right. Very, very good. So we've dealt with 12.1. And the movement, or the motion for adjournment is from Councillor Pearson and seconded by Councillor Johnson. All in favor. Thank you, colleagues. Oh, best part. Thank you. Adjourned.